Alright, we're back. So let's just jump right back into it, shall we? Hi everybody! Welcome back to another episode of FF14 Endwalker. At least for my particular stream slash YouTube channel. Okay, we're on the right data center. Let's just keep going where we left off last night, shall we? Oh yeah, we gotta make sure the soundboard's working right. Let's see. Yeah, this'll work. Alright, looks like it's working right.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head.
I was wondering how far in that was. It's pretty far in. Remember when we saw that guy with the red, white, and blue? He had the red, white hair, and then he had the blue flowers. The ones we got from that side quest. I wanted to play that clip where he said, "Look at the top of his head!" And he starts busting up. That's hella far into that, though. Takes too long to get there. And I still remember that guy from the other night. Anyway. Let's see, is everything working? Yeah, it looks good. Alright, cool. So we left off on a chain side quest, right? And then some MSQ afterwards, which takes us to the north side of this place, right? Yep. Okay. A better Batra Choi? The fuck is this? Thank you for agreeing to accompany us, Leon. Shall we? Certainly. Now, what was the name of your creation again? The Batra Choi. A delightfully roly-poly pudding of a thing. Ah yes, the one over at Rumination's Ramble. My brother Alkaios is in charge of tending to it. Right this way, if you please. What's going on here? This is my brother Alkaios. He might seem a tad gruff, but don't be fooled. There are a few more gentle or kind than he. There's my beloved Batra Choi. Did he miss me, I wonder? A toad-like creature placidly endured your scrutiny. You must be Leon. Myra has told me so much about you, in an impressively short span of time. As you have likely already deduced, I am her brother Alkaios. And you are Cleon, yes? The architect of this Batra Choi, as you call them? Yes, I am. You think you think them ready for release? I would so love to see their endearing rotund forms bouncing around free in the wild. I've completed my report for the main evaluation criteria. The final decision will be made after a committee discusses the results, but based upon my personal observations? No, they are not ready. No? And might I ask why? Leon, would you be so kind as to give this Batra Choi a solid poke? The creature's lack of familiarity with you will help prove my point. Oh shit, am I about to get mauled or something? Ain't about to get eaten, am I? War! Why haven't I added this to favorites? We've had to do it a few times now. Unless I did and I forgot I did. We poked the Batra Choi. Incoming shenanigans.
Bruh, look at this dude.
You see? No response to external stimuli. The creature is far too placid. What was the concept behind the Batra Choi? A defender of water sources? Yeah, apparently. In its current incarnation, it has neither the instinct nor the means to defend itself, much less fend off entities intent upon fouling the waterways. I cannot in good conscience certify a subject so poorly equipped to carry out its intended purpose. In fact, I suggest you redesign your concept entirely. Thank you for your candor. And I was so invested in this darling ball of pudgy flesh. Such a pity. Pudgy flesh. Leon, as Asim's familiar, you must have seen your fair share of the world and its inhabitants. Without altering its physical form, what do you think the Battertoy could do to become a more effective guardian? I was thinking the tongue thing, yeah. Use its weight to... All these things are true of what we know of them today. Let's try this. It could use its tongue to grapple opponents. Brilliant! What an innovative mind you have, Leon. Yes, that may suffice. The introduction of an effective offensive measure could very well tip the scales towards a favorable judgment. Truly? Then I shall modify my concept at once. May I bind this one and take him home with me? Once I finish making the necessary adjustments, I'll resubmit my request for observation and evaluation. Of course, you are free to do as you wish. I will make a note of it in my logs. So basically, the whole vibe we've gotten here is that instead of them just letting the chaos or the chaotic nature of nature itself take hold of stuff, they're trying to somehow make a perfectly balanced world themselves through animal and plant design. I sense your suggestion was based on personal experience, a most valuable source of wisdom. Well done, Leon. What a helpful familiar you are. Leon seems so very pleased. And of course they see this mission as like a holy thing that they were entrusted to do with their abilities and their cognitive abilities and everything else that they can do. Which, yeah, I guess it's not a bad way to interpret being able to create things out of your imagination, out of thin air like that. You know, plants and animals or whatever. It's interesting. They were basically instead of being like one singular god that created the world we know, it's like they were essentially the gods themselves before they were sundered and everything went to shit, you know? And they created the world that we know now. Thank you for your creative assistance, Leon. I knew bringing you along would be a good idea. Why, I almost wish I could have you as my own familiar. It's a shame Asim hasn't published your concept for the world to see. But seeing as you're here now, would you mind lending me your talents a while longer? There is one other creation of mine that I feel might benefit from your unique perspective. Alright, what do you got? Meekly majestic. You've chosen to stay then? Wonderful. I realize we've only just met, but I feel such a bond with you, Leon. There is one more concept I need to finalize, and I could think of no other entity I would rather have at my side during these ever so worrisome evaluations. You have my... what? EO somewhere nearby, don't you, Alcaios? Yes. Myra keeps that one under her watchful eye, but I know the spot where it usually roams. Come along, we need to cross the stream here. You could also interpret what they're doing as, like, them trying to keep a highly balanced ecosystem so that things don't fall apart. Which, I mean, they made that pretty plain and clear, I guess, that I just didn't really notice it or say anything, or my mind was probably somewhere else. Back when we had to kill the Lycaons in MSQ. The thing that hurt Hermes a lot. Hold on. They bait this guy away from his tether. This should make him go away. There we go. Yeah, they're trying to make sure there's a balanced ecosystem, which is not a bad thing, obviously, ever. It's something to strive for in real life as well. But most of the time, in real life, it's like non-intervention seems to be the better course of action to keep the ecosystem balanced. But once things do get, you know, out of balance too much, obviously, yeah, sometimes you do need to intervene. The irony is that usually the ecosystems are unbalanced by humans themselves. Ourselves, I should say. So we end up having to clean up our own messes, basically, is what I'm getting at. Oh, I don't see my EO anywhere. Which seems impossible considering how big she is. Well, that's strange. And most of the time we're the ones unbalancing our own ecosystems rather than other animal species. Or more so than any other animal species usually does. How odd! This is where it usually spends the greater part of its days. Yes, she never strays far from this spot. Perhaps the scent of unfamiliar visitors has made her wary? Let's split up and try to find her. Her being a shaggy, four-legged beast with rather majestic horns. You find a shaggy, four-legged beast, and the horns really are rather majestic. This must be the Io. Ah, there she is, the naughty thing. Nicely tracked, Leon. Well, thanks, Cleon. Hello, my lovely. Come to Myra now. Does this thing even have eyes? Because I don't see them. Well, would you look at that? I think she's taking a liking to you, Leon. And I see that Cleon has a liking for stout and stocky designs. Yeah, kind of like that frog. He's right. Yes, the heftier the better. The Io is one of my favorites. Round and robust and bristling with spiky protrusions. A truly powerful beast. I envisioned her dominating any habitat she entered. What do you think? Excuse me. Ah, she's certainly an imposing specimen. Its physical strength is readily apparent, yes, but more than muscle is needed to dominate a territory. The creature's field of vision is obscured by that mass of wiry hair and curling horns, preventing effective use of its natural weaponry. In the wild, being unable to hunt and catch prey in a consistent manner culminates in a slow death by starvation. It is our recommendation that you redesign the Io as a grass grazer and resubmit the concept as a candidate for livestock. Oh, okay, I see what it is, yeah. Livestock. Unsurprisingly, the Io here is susceptible to nutritional deficiencies, and we must administer regular ethereal supplements. As you appear to have gained its trust, would you mind doing the honors? You needn't convince it to eat anything. Simply splash the creature with this solution. A healthy dose of ether-rich energy, not to be administered orally. Supplemental ether is absolutely essential for such a 4-hunter. We wouldn't want the Io to collapse now, would we? Such a good-natured creature, which is a large part of the problem, I'm afraid. If I must change her into livestock to see her released into the world, then that is what I must do. Well, there you go. The ethereal supplement is absorbed into the Io's body. Am I good? Thank you for tending to my creation, Leon. My Io would likely thrive as a livestock animal, but I did so dearly want her to become an apex predator. Oh, maybe there's still hope. You have an eye for these things. Could you offer any more of your insightful suggestions? You know, it almost looks like the precursor to a behemoth, actually. Unleash the beast. Please, Leon, I have need of your worldly experience. My Io, my darling, hulking Io. She was meant for more than grazing in the fields. Will you look her over and tell me what must be done? How can I transform her from potential livestock to apex predator? Upon closer inspection, you can't shake the feeling that you've fought similar beasts before. Such magnificent horns, rendered all but useless by the creature's poor field of vision. It's gotta be a behemoth they're going for here. When I saw the back of it, that's what I thought of. When the eel's monstrous claws seem capable of tearing a man limb from limb. Yeah. There's the fishback design, the webbed little spinal thing. Even with the eel's limited vision, one swing of its muscular tail would be enough to shatter bones. But for true dominance, the beast will need something more. Something overwhelming. Like being able to summon meteors from the sky to fall on their enemies? Behemoths? What say you? How can we enhance the deadliness of my creation? Here we go. An apex predator should wield apex magics. Something like meteor, for example. Yes! Deceptively simple, but devastatingly effective. I can already picture it. Alkaios, Myra, will you permit me to implement some new ideas? Leon has given me much to think about. Strictly speaking, any significant adjustments should be authorized by the Bureau of the Architect. But I think we can allow some temporary modifications for the purposes of experimentation. That sounds more than fair. Thank you. If you could spare a few more moments, I shall take my creation and return with a new and improved EO. The other guy already told him about the hair thing, so I figured the more useful thing was teach it to use magic like Meteor. You make me wonder, Leon. Are you truly familiar? Your thoughts, your behaviors, they resemble ours far too closely. After living for years on end, our creativity tends to stagnate, I feel. Your revelations come as such a welcome breath of fresh air. Because I've already seen your guys' finished products, that's why. But you guys don't know that. Leon has been gone for more than a few moments. How extensive could these changes of his possibly be? It is done! His jaw hit the floor. Yep, there we go. A true behemoth now. Holy shit! Cut back on the hair, made the tail more lethal. Horns are still majestic. And, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see about the meteor thing, right? Leon, you've certainly been busy, haven't you? Leon's advice began the process, and then it became difficult to stop. After pruning back the horns and hair, I reinforced the talons and moved on to arcane ability. She can now cast Meteor, as well as Charybdis. Surely now my EO stands at the pinnacle of predators? In all my time as an observer, I have seen many a creation, but this concept ranks in the highest echelons. The strength inherent in your EO is more than sufficient to ensure its dominion. Or domination, excuse me. Wonderful. Then I shall submit my refinements to the Bureau at once. But I think perhaps this new incarnation requires a new name. And I know just the familiar to bestow it. Leon, have you a fitting title for this glorious creature? Oh, nice, you control and be like, Queen Behemoth? Fuck it. Queen Behemoth. Ah, perfect! So it shall be known, at least for now. I still need to submit the official registration. And now the time has come for me to return to Amarok. I've decided that my next creation will be more of a companion, a pet, if you will, suitable for the amusement of children and very clever familiars. I think we met this guy before. Thank you all again for this most productive visit. I hope I might impose upon you again soon. We always enjoy hosting visitors with such enthusiasm for their work. Yes, and we very much look forward to observing your future concepts. Well, brother? Leon? Shall we head back to Point de Noicos? You know, I realized I forgot to hop servers today. I usually do that before I log in, but I kind of forgot. Hmm. Catching up on your messages, Crimson. Yeah, that face. Molly succeeded in creating the behemoth. You did well, Leon. Well, thanks. Myra? What a wonderful help you were with our visitor, Leon. Even for a familiar of Asm, I cannot help but be impressed by your intelligence and unique sense of creativity. I wholeheartedly agree. Your intervention salvaged some promising but unfortunately flawed creations. You have our gratitude for providing us with such a fascinating experience. Again, it helps to know what the end product already looks like. Oh, Kaios, must he always be so formal? Although he has trouble expressing it, I assure you my brother is absolutely giddy with joy. Really? Look at him. Thank you again, Leon. While I'm sure your duties are, as a familiar, keep you occupied, we could very much welcome another chance to share your company. Of course. And apparently that chance is right now. Methods of mourning. Perhaps this is... either it's the actual final quest, or it's probably one that converges with the other chain quests from the other place. They tend to do... They tend to have this pattern where they do that. Like, if you have an area with a lot of havens like this, and multiple side quests and some side quest chains, even if it doesn't unlock like a new beast tribe or something later on, sometimes they'll have quest chains that eventually converge together anyway, once you complete their separate constituents. And then they do this and make another quest chain to like finish out the little story. This could be that. Methods of mourning. Alright, what's up? Tell me, Leon, have you seen much of Anagnosis? Ah, so you've met Overseer Suppleton. Yeah, see, there we go, it is connecting to the other one. He sent my brother a request for aid, and we were just on our way to render our assistance. You're welcome to come along if you like. You may be interested to witness the duty which lies ahead. Come along, we mustn't keep the Overseer waiting. Alright. Well, first, like I said, I got a server hop. I forgot to do that earlier. We're gonna meet them in Anagnosis, right? Might as well not make 2 teleportation trips. Yeah. I've not crossed over to this island sometimes. There's only one reason they would ask for me by name. Uh-oh. You worried? Leon! You're acquainted with Alcaios and his sister, I see. Yeah. Been a while, you two. Alcaios, Myra, and Leon as well. Welcome, all of you. A summons from you can only mean one thing. There has been an incident? Yes, the Lycaons went into a frenzy and more than a few of our observational projects were prematurely ended. We began the sending rites, of course, but the task is burdensome for so few. Thus did I hope to secure your particular expertise. Oh, you wouldn't be aware of the practice, would you, Leon? Here in Elpis, we expedite the ethereal dissipation of the deceased by employing time magics. Was that how they do it? They age you to death? Is that a hunt train? Look at that! There's a hunt train going by right now. In Siren. You know what's cool with data center travel? You can kind of actually participate in all hunt trains now across all the data centers. Kind of. Because the transfer process still takes a while. You might still miss it anyway. If you're coming from somewhere else. Anyway. The decay of the corporeal remains is accelerated and absorbed back into the ground upon which we stand. As you may have guessed, the manipulation of time is Alkaios' specialty. Whenever some unexpected event results in the mass loss of creations, it is to him whom they turn. That we do. Nevertheless, I do regret turning you away from your important work. We prepared a site to the southwest, so if you'll follow me, we can put this unpleasant business behind us in short order. So I modified the concept of sending a creature that's dead, basically. Or, from FF10, they modified the concept of sending dead people's spirits to the afterlife. And just made it so that it's like sending the ether of a dead creature in this game to the afterlife. Just back to the ethereal sea. Back to, the planet, as they would say in FF7 with the live stream. Basically the same exact concept. They made that pretty clear in, like, A Realm Reborn. When they first talk about the live stream in the ethereal sea and all that. I thought so. I was like, he's gonna give up. It's way too far. When you research such an eclectic collection of wildlife, it's almost inevitable that some of them will meet a sudden and unanticipated demise. Yeah, feels bad, man. Occupites. So these are the same ones that got killed by the Lycaons from MSQ, which is what they're referring to right now. The Overseer and I moved the bodies here, away from the site of violence. It's easier this way. This is them, the Occupites which fell victim to the Lycaons. They were still being evaluated, yes? The poor things, they barely had a chance to fulfill their design. Their flesh and bones will return to the land. We will ensure that their existence was not in vain. Seeing life taken mid-purpose can be distressing. Have you witnessed such events before, Leon? More than I can count. Tell me, how do you express yourself at these times? Well... philosophies, yeah. Making a grave or caring for the deceased. A physical reminder of the life that was? An interesting sentiment, but if we practice such a custom in Elpis, we would eventually run out of places to put them, which is, yes, a very important lesson. Again, something to think about in real life as well. With our exploding population, it's only starting to slow down now, but still, you can't bury everyone, or eventually we will run out of room. Even if that's still a long ways off with how much room we have, it will eventually happen if you bury literally every single person. I do like the idea of a tangible offering, though. Like a final gift for a friend. What about something organic which would decompose alongside the remains? Say a bouquet of flowers? That was the first choice, yeah. That works. Come with me, Leon. You can help me gather something suitable. I do like that many years ago, I haven't been able to find it again, I should have written it down. Many years ago, I did come across this website selling a product specifically to address that issue, which was instead of just giving people a bunch of, little plots of rectangles to bury themselves or whatever, and, then the way they hold funerals where if the body is available, the way they fill it with preservative chemicals for the funerals, and then bury them like that, and then those chemicals eventually over time seep into the ground and they poison the earth. The alternative that I found, which I wish I could find this website again, was these little urns that were basically for people who got cremated, and that you would put their ashes in these little pots. They were like these little pot urns. You would put your ashes in there. Well, somebody else would do it for you, of course, you're dead. But you know what I mean, like, you would put your loved one's ashes in there, And then the inside of it was structured like a bunch of floors of a building. So like layers, I guess. And it was set to decompose naturally in the ground. The pot itself would gradually decompose. And so the top layer would have your ashes, your remains right there, right? And then there would be a wall separating that from the next layer, which would have, I believe it was a seed? Yeah, like a seed for a certain type of tree. You could pick out the seed, so which type of tree it would be, I think. And then the most bottom layer would have very fertile soil. So what would happen is you would bury this little pot somewhere where you could grow a tree, and you would just bury it, and then over time it would decompose so that the layers separating the ashes, the seed, and the nutrient, like fertilizer, underneath would gradually dissipate, and they would all sort of, the seed and the other two things would come together, and then the pot itself would eventually decay away as well, and it would grow a tree. It would, over time, start to grow a tree, basically. And so it's kind of like your loved one became a tree rather than just a fucking gravestone on a rectangular plot of land. But instead of poisoning the ground, you're kind of giving back to the land with the remains of your loved one, or yourself, if you ask your loved ones to bury you in such a way after you're gone. I thought it was a beautiful concept, and I saved it to my favorites on my web browser on my old computer, but I never brought it over, so now I totally forgot where to find that shit. I'm like, damn it! Were you finished with helping Myra? It isn't safe to wander alone. No, sorry, I was rambling too much for some fucking reason.
You bastard!
I got shit to say! I believe Myra will have some flowers for you to pick. Your thought process truly is amazing. Where do you encounter these notions that have never even occurred to us? I don't even know how to answer that. Again, it's probably the same as before. I come from the future, but I can't tell them that. I can't go around screaming at everybody. I'm from the future! You just come in, you're all diseased, and run away. Like, what? You're all gonna die and don't even realize it! We're being invaded! Here, I've made some flowers of our own. Even those fashioned directly of ether tend to sprout with more life and color when you grow them in the soil. Pick yourself a handful and we'll take them back to the Overseer. Okay. Aren't they lovely? They're called Prenoi, one of my favorite flowers. Oh shit. It was right there. Alright, so Crimson, you were telling me that people nicknamed this place Helpus. I was wondering, like, you said it was because a lot of people were backseating streamers when this game first came out in this area for some reason. I was kind of wondering why that was. Yeah, why would this place in particular make people start backseating? Kind of odd. Were you finished with helping Myra? It isn't safe to wander alone. Okay, same thing they said before, I forgot. Myra's creations were acceptable, I trust? It's a beautiful and ancient predecessor to the modern lily. Here. My apologies. I may have gotten a little carried away with the flowers. Not at all, Myra. Your effort is much appreciated. Alkaios, if you would be so kind. Vessels within which life once flowed, cheated of purpose, stilled and cold. Unto the land you now return, the field upon which new life shall burn. Like an actual funeral. Oh wow. That was a beautiful service. I like to think it brought some joy to their departed souls, much as one feels when receiving a thoughtful gift. Yeah, like a proper funeral. Yes, the flowers were the perfect addition. How fortunate we are to have this knowledgeable familiar in our midst. We must return and commit this event to parchment while it remains fresh in our minds. A potential shift in our traditions is a historical moment worth recording. Thank you again, Altaris. We are ever grateful for your calming presence. And our thanks to you, Myron Leon, not only for attending, but also elevating the proceedings. Happy to help. Yes, you've contributed more than enough. Allow us to take care of the tedious administrative details. We hope to see you again soon, Leon. It is time we were headed back ourselves, dear sister. As you say. Please, Leon, join us back in Poitenoiko. Well, even though they don't think much of creations as much as Hermes does, at least they do still have some level of respect for them to offer them at least a little funeral like that before they undo them. At least the ones that, were killed like that prematurely. The living, breathing ones that they reject as concepts, though, I think that's where Hermes has his issue. They kind of just delete them without a second thought. That was a different kind of service. I think, yes, we might consider some changes. Opening some minds here, or what's going on? What a fortuitous turn of events that you were present when we received the summons to Anagnosis. As time marches on, we encounter fewer and fewer of these truly new experiences. Yet ever since you appeared, it's been one surprise after another. I suppose we should expect nothing less from one of Aslan's creations. Again, the reputation. And now we have these precious new ideas and perspectives to apply to our duties moving forward. Speaking of which, we really must be returning to our work. Be well, Leon, and thank you. May our purposes, or simply our paths, align again in the future. That was really nice. Going around helping people, touching their hearts, and giving them inspiration, right? That is what an adventurer does, and lo and behold, it's, apparently what we did in our past lives as Aslan. Shit. Oh, this takes us to that other place. Ethoselatikos, Boreas. What the? It appears to be the teleporter Bernard told you about. Motes of light yet hang in the air, suggesting the device was but recently activated. Ethoselatikos. Hey. Milady? Ah, good. The Neos acknowledged you as my guest. You should now have the authority to use it as you wish. Okay. As for the way to Catesis Hyperborea, we followed this path, then turn left at the crossroads. Okay. No Aetheryte for quick transport here. Hopefully the side quests are kept to a minimum, because it's going to be hell to get around without an Aetheryte. That thing already looks like a little mini behemoth. Shit. Hold on. Okay. Oh right, I gotta look for ether currents. Fuck. See, I always forget, dude. It's such a chore when you just want to, like, do the quests. Here we are, the grandest research facility in Elpis. Whoa. We should head inside and ask after Hermes' whereabouts. I think somebody's coming out. I heard the door open. Hermes is at another facility, as we have just discovered. Ah, it's our old friends. I was wondering when we'd catch up to them. Furthermore, we've confirmed that his studies into Dynamis, as well as his creation of Meteon, were entirely private pursuits. No one else we spoke with appeared to possess the Chief's depth of knowledge on the subject, and neither did we hear any tales of stolen research. Which means that if Hermes himself harbors no desire to bring down an apocalypse, then he might be recruited to help prevent one. Yeah. Or so saith the illustrious Emmet Selk. We actually came to the same conclusion, though, me and Vana, so... According to your story, the 14 divined the connection between the celestial currents and the final days, but were never able to pinpoint the root cause of the calamity. With our people's greatest minds, not to mention Hythlodaeus' sharp eyes, committed to the pursuit of a solution, such an outcome seems inconceivable. The only possible explanation is if the nature of the catalyst was so inexplicable that even we failed to perceive it. Which leads to Dynamis again. And what better fits that description than the invisible, intangible Dynamis? Yeah. Which in turn leads us to our next question. How did Hermes, in his role as Fandaniel, not recognize the subject of his own research? Yeah, that's a bigger mystery actually, yeah. Unless he willfully ignored it. We must assume that he either knew and was unable to help, or that he was otherwise prevented from identifying the cause in the first place. At this juncture, all we can do is speculate. To be clear, the Convocation does not tolerate acts of deception or malice. We are practiced at perceiving truth and would have known had Fandaniel lied to us. Okay, so that rules that out. Unless he found some way to defend against that. To still be able to hide it, but maybe not. Hermes has no conscious wish for the world to end. Of that I am certain. As of right now, no. He does in the present day where I came from, but not now. It seems there is more to the tale after all. Indeed. Could all just be one horrible, unfortunate accident. Which is probably what it's going to turn out to be. We conducted an investigation of our own, you see. Some horrible accident that then the future iteration of Hermes decided to take advantage of when he decided he didn't want to live and wanted to destroy the world, take it all with him. How comforting. We seem to have reached the exact same conclusion. Yeah. I see no reason to delay further. It's time we brought Hermes into the fold, as it were. Thank you for your understanding. Save your thanks. I did not say I believed your ridiculous story. But as Emmet Selk, I have a duty to examine any potential threat to our existence, no matter how ludicrous or personally offensive I may find it. Alright, whatever. Hythlodaeus back there, like... How lovely! Our merry duo has become a quartet. Past disagreements are no reason to reject collaboration in the here and now. I commend them itself for his practicality. Yeah. Do not approach me, do not speak to me, and do not dare presume to treat me as a friend. I'm merely carrying out my duty. Damn. Alright. Shit. Hunger in the garden. I think the time for leisurely exploration is past. If I might have a moment to adjust my vision. There he is. On the next aisle over. Meteon is with him. Hermes appears to be in the midst of an observational study, but I suggest we hurry over before they venture elsewhere. Head straight down the path. We can teleport to Mesopsis Euros from the device at the bottom of the slope. So part of me, if it wasn't for what Elizabeth said, part of me would think that this is one of those time loop situations where, you know, Elizabeth's already told us we can't prevent what's going to happen, right? But it also makes me think they would go down the path of, it's actually because of you trying to, like, warn them about it, that you caused it to happen in the first place. And I would come to that conclusion if it wasn't for, hold on a second, I just realized I gotta get the ether current. I would come to the conclusion that they were going to go down that same tried and true path that they always do whenever there's time travel involved, right? If it wasn't for the fact that he said this time period we were sent to, everything that's happening already before we even got here was a result of what already caused the final days to happen in the future. Like, the causality of it is further back in time than this. So, no matter what we do here, it's not going to lead to preventing or causing it in the first place. It's already in motion, basically. According to Elidibus, it's already in motion in this time period. The string of events that lead to that. So I don't think they're gonna go down the road of, you trying to prevent it is what caused it in the first place. No. I don't think so unless they're gonna roll back on what Elidibus said. That the causality was already there. From before this time period. So this appears to be a teleporter to Mesopsis Zeros. Okay. Thank God there's no more ether currents. I guess we just need the last one from MSQ now. What? You expect me to praise you and your progress? On the contrary, I'm simply surprised you made it this far. Then again, even with you slowing her down, there is no denying that Vana is an accomplished researcher. Her wealth of wisdom and experience is unmatched, and her achievements in creation magics, in any field frankly, are nothing short of extraordinary. Though the singular brilliance which sets her apart can make her motives somewhat impenetrable at times. As her student and successor puts it, she is a force of nature, at once so close, and at the same time so very distant. Really? Is that what I said about her? Interesting. I'd say that's pretty... yeah, that's pretty true, actually. Even in her current incarnation as Heidelin, that's actually still true. You don't know what her intentions are. So close and yet so far away. Describe her down to the letter. Whew. Mesopsis Zeros is interesting in that it is the only region in Elpis which lacks a researcher hub. Which means probably no side quests here then. Again, it's smart if they did that, because without an Aetherite, turning them in would be ass. This is largely due to the nature of its observation sites, within which they let loose creatures anticipated to be unruly and dangerous. I have also heard tell that the area is kept deliberately sparse in the event that, well, let's just say that no one should live near the Neos, which provides access to a certain facility. Where's this going? They are close by, within the Hungering Gardens. That would be the circular enclosure you see just up ahead. Well then, Leon, make yourself useful and bring Hermes out here to us. If I were to go, he would assume I was only there to press him on the Fandaniel matter. Of all of us present, you stand the best chance at convincing him to put aside his work for the moment. But the creations in there are not exactly... Then again, perhaps Leon can handle them. He did survive a bout with Benoit, after all. She told him about that, huh? Off you go to find Hermes, but do be prepared to come to blows with the garden's denizens. What am I not? Someone needs to go into the Hungering Gardens to speak with Hermes, and it seems them itself has nominated you for the task. Okay. Didn't change what he said. Okay. Get the hell out of here. I'm double checking. Okay. Once it says there's no more, then no more. Botanical abominations bear down upon you with ravenous intent. Alright, I'm gonna need some backup. Let's go. Oh, I already had it active. Shit. Oh, whoops. I could've... Prick. What are they called? The Mortal Marquis. Or Marcus, or Marquis, I don't fucking know. Where the hell are they? Botanical abominations. Poor Crispy, man. Yeah, fuck up. Got hit by that bad breath equivalent over here. Hey, there they are. Might have to kill this fool. That animation is pretty cool. The swords coming down. Or coming up from the ground, too. Leon? Leon? Where did you come from? Oh, you know, just in the area. Decided to stop by and say hi. Leon, what are you doing here? I thought you were keeping Hypnodeus and MSL company. Well, I was, but... an important matter. And unrelated to my decision on Fandaniel, you say? And yes, I will come, as soon as my work here is finished. It will not be long, I promise, but you should really wait outside the garden with the others. This is no place for idle exploration. We're taking notes. We'll talk later? Okay. You need to be concerned for our safety. Medion and I are protected by a ward which conceals our presence from the creatures. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Could have gone ninja and just used hide and same shit. There were still scripted battles though. I would have only worked against these guys. I was prepared to swoop in if need be, but 'tis clear you have faced your fair share of monstrous opponents. Yes, I have. What is that ghastly odor? You spoke with Hermes then? Mm-hmm. And were briefly entangled with the denizens of the Hungering Gardens as well, I see. Or should I say, smell. I cannot speak for certain Convocation members, but I, for one, am impressed with your fortitude. Well done indeed. Now that you've convinced Hermes to confer with us, let us pray that things will soon take a turn for the better. For as fascinating as it would be to meet the Emet-Self who would recreate Amaroth in the depths of the ocean, I think it best for all concerned if such tragic events never came to pass. Be it in our future or your past, assuming yours is not truly written in stone. Naive hope that is. Yeah. Again, if we learned anything from the Shadowbringer storyline is that yeah, it is. Not gonna change my present. Why am I always so forward-thinking? I simply wish to enjoy all that life has to offer. Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. That's me too. I was prepared to swoop in if need be. Okay, right, same thing. But if anything, even if, if we were somehow able to, like, prevent that from happening in this alternate universe, whether we do or don't, it could give us insight into how to stop what's happening now. That's the whole point. Words without sound. Hermes said he would not be long, yes? Then we shall wait here until he emerges. Here we go.
My apologies for keeping you waiting. I understand there is a matter you wish to discuss.
Aye. A matter of the utmost gravity. If one can suspend disbelief. Go on then. Tell him what you told us. Who you are and why you came.
The final days.
The phenomena observed during these star-encompassing calamities is likely the product of a dynamis reaction. And none is more versed in the applications of this energy than you, Hermes. I must stress that we do not believe you would desire such destruction. We come not to lodge accusations, but to beg your wisdom. And so, distressing though the exercise may be, I ask that you share with us your opinion on the matter, on the assumption that our visitor's tale is true.
Even you, Vana. As you say, the phenomena observed in the two calamities may both be attributed to Dynamis. Of note is the difference in its effect. In the first final days, it warped creation magics. In the second, it warped the people themselves. The key variable, I suspect, is the etheric density of the men of each age.
There we go. The ether thinness.
As you know,
the thunder.
ether, in essence, negates dynamis. Harboring high concentrations of ether, we ancients cannot readily manipulate dynamis, nor be manipulated by it. Therefore, rather than ourselves, the calamity affected our magics. In contrast, having been sundered, the people of the future are composed of but a fraction of our ether. Thus are they susceptible to the influence of dynamis and its transformative potential. But that would explain only the mechanism, not the cause. Though perhaps...
What is it? Even should it be a hypothesis, we would hear it.
Dynamis is an energy put in motion by feelings. Feelings for which there must first exist a source. The source to which the victims must be attuned. One that harbors the self-same negative emotions. Elsewise, it could not be the agent of such extreme change.
Right, that thing me and Reem were cut off from, maybe?
So it wasn't the stagnation of the celestial currents. Someone, or something, is instigating the star's demise.
So, we've a villain on our hands after all. Any idea who or what it could be?
The celestial currents comprise the outermost layer of the star's ether, encasing it like a protective sphere. According to your tale, it was where the currents were weakest that the phenomena first manifested. If the inciting factor came from without Aetheris, then its effects would first be seen in those locations.
Greetings. Can you hear me? Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. I wish only to hear your words, share your feelings, know your thoughts.
One of the Medions find something out there, finally? More intelligent
May
life?
we please be friends?
Meteon. What is it?
Executing scheduled task, suspending individual self and connecting to shared consciousness. Connection established. Commencing status report.
Steady, Meteon. Steady.
So scared. So lonely. The pain. It's too much. Why? Why? Why do we? They hurt. Hurt. Hate. Hate. This is wrong. All wrong.
She's gone? But how?
She has altered her etheric density in order to blend in with her surroundings, an ability for avoiding confrontation.
Most effective. Frustratingly so. I can't see her either. Not even a trace.
Stay away. Please. This is wrong. My mistake. So please.
Did find something out there. Something hostile.
Are you all right?
Or just something incredibly
In
lonely.
your mind? No. We only heard her speak the instant before she vanished.
Of course. When communicating without words, Meteon also employs Dynamis.
I was affected because my ether's so thin, of
That will
course.
explain why you were able to hear her, when we could not.
Then you are our best chance of finding her. Follow her voice and try to track her down. Hindered though we may be, let us split up and search as well.
I remember first surmising that the threat could be intergalactic when they talked about the celestial currents. I think that was a few streams ago, when I was like, just like thinking out loud to myself. I was like, whatever's causing this could just be something really far away in outer space. This seems to be supporting that idea. There's obviously one of the Meteo, or however you say the plural version of Meteon's name, found something out there. With a lot of negative emotion attached to it. It's kind of been channeled through her now. Which gave me a really bad headache. I'm gonna need a fucking Advil. Shit. Or an aspirin, I don't know. Meteon, where are you? Please answer me. What has happened to you? To your sisters? Nothing good, I can tell you that much. You might not come back alive. Suspicious disturbance. You calm your mind, your senses questing for any hint of Meteon's presence. It seeps into my mind. Our voices reporting. No, no! Hermes mustn't hear them! I have to run. To hide. Meteon's anguished voice grows distant as the source seems to flee down the slope. That is, I love that they're going with the cosmic horror aspect here. Just like with Genova and FF7. But more so here, the whole traversing into the unknown. You never know what you're gonna find out there. And you could end up running into something hostile. Right? I don't think Hermes really thought about that when he decided to try to establish contact with whatever the hell else is living out there. He didn't really think it through. You strain to catch even the faintest whisper, but fail to hear Meteon's voice. He must be elsewhere. And he didn't tell anybody about him sending his little familiars out into outer space like that, either. Greetings and salutations. Oh, there you are. What's up? Commencing report. Alright, what'd you find? Oh. Oh no, we can't tell them that! We must run! Run far away! Oh, not again. Please, don't follow me. Meteon's anguished voice fades as you sense her climbing to the top of the ridge. Trying to catch even the faintest whisper, but failed to... Yeah, but failed to hear Meteon's voice. She must be elsewhere. Oh, that's another one down. Oh shit. How? How did it come to this? Is this the reason we traveled to the stars? Why we sought out other life forms? Is this it? Is this the answer? No, it cannot be. It cannot be. Medion's anguished voice drifts away to the south. Shit! Oh lord, he coming. We're scrapping. Alright, let's go. Nothing. Compiling report for dissemination to Hermes and all peoples of Atheris. Processing expedition data. Preparing profiles on intelligent civilizations. Formulating answers to the question. Finalizing report. No, Leon. You mustn't listen! It's wrong. It's all wrong. He went towards the lake. Any sign of Meteon? Yeah, I've encountered her various times, but panicked and confused, which will make it all the more difficult to predict her movements. Hermes, what do you make of this situation? That's how you say it, the Matea are linked to a single mind, a shared consciousness which connects them across any distance. I suspect something has happened which disrupted its usual harmony. How might we access this shared consciousness of theirs? Much as you would approach any sentient being. Directly. In the Matea's case, that means speaking to any incarnation within physical reach. But we have to track her down. So unless we can track down the Meteon we just lost, we have no means to communicate with them. No way of knowing what befell her sisters. No way to provide directions or guidance. And we had best set our musings aside and concentrate on how we might find her. He seemed shocked about something. A frantic search will avail us little. We must be clever about this. It's a shame there's no registered concept we could use to create another Meteon. Assuming, of course, we could link her to the shared mind. But no, if it were a viable solution, Hermes would have surely suggested it. In the final days, Ether is twisted by the invasion of Dynamis from beyond the star. Its progress intensified by feelings of fear and despair and anguish, which is what Medion's experiencing right now, yeah. Nay, I like not the picture which emerges with these latest pieces. No one does. Oh my dear Medion, what did you witness out there that frightened you so? Why do you seek to keep it from us? How terrible could it possibly be? Alright. We're gonna have an alien movie crossover now. It's gonna be the Xenomorphs. No. Or Predator, whichever you prefer, or both. My apologies, we should focus on the task at hand. Right. Ethlodeus, what's your take on this? Follow, wander, stumble, listen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Meteon renders herself invisible by matching her etheric density to that of her surroundings, does she not? If so, could we not then disrupt her concealment with a surfeit of ether? Much how M itself solidified your presence when first we met you. Don't be absurd. I can hardly channel ether to a recipient whose whereabouts are hidden from me. Which is why we must all work together. Leon will continue the search in the same manner as before, but this time with you in tow. Once he ascertains Meteon's likely location, you proceed to reveal our wayward familiar with a swift ethereal downpour. Very clever, and thankfully she has made herself easier to capture by fleeing towards Lys. Assuming she is made visible, it should prove no great feat to herd her into a corner. Then we have our plan. Leon and M itself will be our tracker and trapper respectively, while we others predict and obstruct Meteon's avenues of escape. M itself and I will keep an eye on each other's ether to help coordinate our efforts. Let us be about it. Well, it seems we are partners for the time being. Let us return to where we last saw Meteon and pick up the trail from there. I will keep myself in a state of preparedness, ready to rain down ether at a moment's notice. Meaning it falls to you to keep the way clear. Right, you can't defend yourself, got it. Now, did Meteon go straight ahead towards the pier? Or did she stray from the path somewhere? As the only one who can hear her voice, you will need to take the lead. Well, let's start here. You calm your mind, your senses questing for any hint of Meteon's presence. But you fail to hear her voice. She must be elsewhere. Nothing this way? We try another route then. There's one. You calm your mind again, sensing for her. Why can't I fly? Are my functions being restricted? Hide. Yes, I'll just have to hide them, where no one can find me. Meteon's anguished voice heads towards the water's edge. She went into the lake? As if this wasn't tiresome enough. Well, at least that open expansion make her easier to find. We won't lose her this time. So you say. She does have the advantage of blending in, though. We should be able to reach the bottom of this drop by climbing down the rocks at the water's edge. Do not even think of dragging me over the falls. Final days or no, if I end up drenched from head to toe, I swear I will feed you to a remora. Jesus. Alright, man. We're going over the edge. Not here. I'm not here. Please. Behind that rock that I literally drove around? By that rock, is she? Very well. What? Why can't I hide?
Surprise, motherfucker.
There's no need to run, Medion. Leon? What are you saying? Everything is so faint. Well, of course, she's dense with ether now, so she can't hear my emotions anymore. It's gonna stop her from functioning properly. I'm sorry. I'm not strong enough. Stay away. I'm begging you. This is where it happens, isn't it? Don't make me say it. It will break him. His poor, fragile heart. Now we have a chance. Once the others are in position, the two of us can herd her into their midst. It'll break his fragile heart. So maybe the souls of all the creations that they've just vanished out of existence when they, you know, need them anymore, manifested somewhere else and they're angry or something. I don't know. Obviously, she feels like it's gonna hurt Hermes the most for some reason. So it's gotta be something personal like that. Can you imagine if that was it? A manifestation of all the creation magics that were rejected, the concepts that were rejected. If they didn't go back into the ethereal sea of the same planet itself, that would be plausible. But it's always implied that they go back to the planet, so... Discuss the Neos, this teleportation thing. Is this Neos not in use? It seems to have been left to the mercy of the elements. Either way, there's no trace of Medion's essence. We move on. I'm guessing that'll probably take us back to here, or... yeah. Something. There! I see her. He's booking it. In all honesty, she probably just thinks the report's gonna be so bad, it's just gonna... Yeah, she wants to save us the pain and anguish, because she's so empathic as an intellectie. Obviously something horrible that she doesn't want him to suffer from. But she's very protective of Hermes. Obviously. Such is empathy, right? Silk has yet to arrive. Be sure he's at your side. Oh, I was still on the mount there. He's right here! Uh-oh. I think I may have called a glitch. There we go. I guess I have to move a little after I dismount for it to count that he's there. What do you got?
Give chase. We shall herd her into the shelter.
That's an imposing figure. That look on his face.
Please, Mission. We must speak.
I'm sorry, Hermes. I'm so sorry. If someone can hear these words, then please. Please protect them. Protect them all.
Individual self-suspended. Connection with shared consciousness stable. Our survey is complete. We shall now report our findings. All units safely arrived at their respective destinations. Seeking answers to Hermes' question, we attempted to make contact with the intelligent denizens of each star. Results are as follows, in order of numerical code. Enna. Traces of civilization found. Structures believed to have served as domiciles. No extant life forms detected. Dio. Ruined remnants of buildings scattered across star, surface of which is encased in ice. Presence of life could not be verified. Tria. Evidence of large population centers, akin to cities recovered. No extant life forms found, only their lingering essence. Tessera. Edifices surmised to be abandoned residences found. No extant life forms detected. Deadly plague or extreme environmental degradation likely to have led to mass extinction.
Feels way too real right now.
They are all dead.
Octo. Star found in state of violent conflict. Contact successfully made with inhabitants, but deployment of weapons of mass destruction resulted in total annihilation of local population shortly thereafter.
Again, feels too real, man. Come on.
Inea. Star is a barren desert. No identifiable flora found. Bones of living beings resembling men discovered beneath sands, but determination regarding their intelligence inconclusive.
Remind me, Hermes, what exactly was the question you entrusted to Meteion?
I tasked her with asking what others live for. What gives their lives meaning.
Did you consider what may happen if the premise of the question is flawed? To be able to answer it, one must be living and desire to continue doing so. But if Meteion finds no living beings in the course of her journey, or none who desire to live, what then? What answers would she derive from their silence?
Meteion, enough! Suspend your mission and return hither at once.
Decapente. Local civilization once flourished under auspices of higher power. Said power later laid waste to civilization in fit of rage. Upon revealing this to me, entity elected to self-terminate in lieu of providing answer to question. No other intelligent life forms found.
Turning a deaf ear, are we? We are taking Meteion back to Amarot. As I understand, we will need her if we are to bring back all of her sisters.
Yes. Meteion. It isn't right, is it? It isn't right to turn away from the answer. Even if the answer is pain. Even if we aberrations must scream ourselves hoarse to be heard. Aye. Whatever answers we find, I will not dismiss them out of hand. These words I said to you, and I will hold myself to them.
What is the meaning of this?
You cannot take Meteion, not until she has finished her report. All else must wait.
You fool!
You fool! He says. At a loss for words. If all Hermes means to do is listen to Meteion's report, then it is his right to do so. Yeah, I was gonna say, what is the harm in that? But once he receives the answers to his question, what then? The fate of the world may very well hinge upon the choice he makes in that moment. And we must be there when he makes it. Very true. Why, Hermes? Why could you not leave well enough alone? Will these answers assuage the pain you feel when the creation is returned to ether? Did you never cast your accursed question to the distant stars, you may have one day learned to be at peace upon this one. Hades is pissed. Do you understand why Hermes would do this? His logic escapes me entirely. He wants to know what the point of living is. Paging the messenger. Hermes is headed to Catesis. Considering the expansive dimensions of the place, even we may have a difficult time locating his ether. All I can say is that he entered from the rooftop and likely arrived at the uppermost point in the facility. So, do we pursue him? Of course we pursue him. No matter what Hermes might be thinking, Meteion is a potential threat that needs to be brought under our control. The Convocation's duty to safeguard this star takes precedence over any personal stake in the matter. But not, Leon? 'Tis clear we stand on a precipice, but we have yet to determine beyond the shadow of a doubt that Meteion's is the hand which tips us over the edge. Whether intentional or not, yeah. Nevertheless, if we are to learn the truth of the final days, we must give chase. And even if neither Hermes nor Meteion is ultimately responsible, we cannot leave them to suffer this torment alone. Agreed on all accounts. To Catesis Hyperborea we go. All kind of them. To teleport me here like this. I get the feeling something big's gonna happen here. I don't know. I better use the restroom while I can, right? I'll BRB.